Exercise 12.1, Problem 17, discussion. Let's read the problem. A bag consists of 100 shirts, of which 88 are good, 8 have minor defects, and 4 have major defects. A trader A will accept only the shirts which are good, but the trader B will not accept the shirts which have major defects. One shirt is drawn at random. What is the probability that it is acceptable by A? Then part 2 by B. Okay, so let's mark. The total number of shirts is 100, that is N of S is 100. And we have good shirts, 88 good, 8 have minor defects, and 4 have major defects. A trader A will accept only good shirts, which means it is number of good shirts divided by total number of shirts is the probability of him accepting this particular shirt. Now trader B will not accept shirts which have major defects, which means he will accept good as well as minor. There are two ways of doing this part B. One is 88 are good and 8 have minor. So totally the number of shirts which is acceptable by B is 88 plus 8, that is 96 shirts is acceptable. So the probability of the shirt acceptable to B will be 96 divided by 100. That is one way of doing, right? But this is another way of doing is that not accept the shirts who have major defects. So the probability of getting a major defect is 4 divided by total number of shirts, that is 100. And the probability of getting a shirt which is not having major defect is 1 minus the probability of having a major defect. So that is another way of calculating the probability of a shirt acceptable to B. Okay, so keep this in the back of the mind. Let's work this problem out. So what's given? The bag contains 100 shirts. Good shirts equal to 88. Shirts with minor defects equal to 8. Shirts with major defects equal to 4. What do we need to calculate? We need to calculate whether the probability of a drawn shirt is acceptable to A or B. So A and B. Okay. The formula is the same. Probability of A equal to N of A divided by N of S. So here for the good shirts is the number of good shirts divided by total number of shirts. And the probability of selecting a major defect will be number of shirts with major defect divided by total number of shirts. Okay, first step. Calculate the probability of drawing a good shirt which is acceptable to A using probability of drawing a good shirt equal to number of good shirts divided by total number of shirts. A accepts only good shirts. So, which is acceptable to A means probability of selecting a good shirt. Okay. So, since he accepts only good shirts, we have to find probability of drawing a good shirt, and that is the probability of a drawn shirt being accepted by A. Okay. And probability of a good shirt is number of good shirts divided by total number of shirts. So which is 88 divided by 100. Next. Now calculate the probability of drawing a shirt with major defect using the formula. Probability of drawing a shirt with major defect is number of shirts with major defect by total number of shirts. So number of shirts with major defect is 4. Total number of shirt is 100 as in the previous case. So probability of drawing a shirt with major defect is 4 divided by 100, that is 0.04 or 4 by 100, 1 by 25. Okay. Now, so calculate the probability of drawing a shirt which is acceptable to B, shirt without major defect using. Now you know the probability B accepts shirt without major defects. So we know the probability of drawing a shirt with major defect is calculated by this formula. Okay, therefore probability of selecting a shirt acceptable to B is 1 minus this. Okay, probability of drawing a shirt with major defect. Basically, with major defect. Okay, probability of this selecting a shirt with major defect is calculated here, and we want probability of selecting a shirt acceptable to B, which is nothing but probability of selecting a shirt without major defect. So without major defect means 1 minus probability of drawing a shirt with major defect. Okay. So that is how this problem is to be done. Otherwise, you will have to calculate all the number of shirts without major defect. That is 88 good shirts plus 8 minor defect. Minor defect is acceptable by B. Am I right? Because it says only with major defect he will not accept. So it means minor defect also will get accepted. So 88 plus 8 minor defect will be accepted. So that is 96. So 96 by total number of shirts is 100. So that is another way of doing this problem. Okay. So let's see the solution. Here n of s is 100. How many number of shirts? Totally 100 shirts. So n of s is 100. So let G be the event of drawing a good shirt. And n of G will be, how many good shirts are there? 88. So n of G is 88. So probability of selecting a good shirt is n of G divided by n of s. That is 88 divided by 100. That is 22 by 25. In other words, probability of selecting a good shirt is total number of good shirts, or number of good shirts divided by total number of shirts. Okay. So the probability of a shirt acceptable by A equal to, this we have found the probability of selecting a good shirt. Now let's come to A. Probability of a shirt acceptable by A. We have drawn a shirt and we are checking whether it will be acceptable by A or not, or we are asked to find the probability that it is acceptable by A. So when will A accept the shirt? The probability of shirt acceptable by A is probability of drawing a good shirt. A accepts a shirt only when the shirt is good. So probability of a shirt acceptable by A is probability of drawing a good shirt. And probability of good shirt we just calculated that it is 22 by 25. Therefore, probability of a drawn shirt which is acceptable to A is 22 by 25. You getting it? So what I mean to say is A accepts only good shirts. And we know probability of selecting a good shirt is 22 by 25. So what is the probability that a shirt drawn is acceptable to A means the probability of drawing a good shirt. Because A accepts only good shirts. So that is how this problem needs to be worked out. Let's come to the second part. Now here B accepts, this is a condition which you have to be clear. B accepts shirt with major defects, without major defect. So probability of a shirt drawn acceptable to B will be probability of drawing a shirt without major defect. But what is probability of drawing a shirt without major defect? That is 1 minus probability of drawing a shirt with major defect. Okay. And what is probability of selecting a shirt with major defect? Number of major defect shirts with major defect divided by total number of shirts. And how many number of shirts are there with major defect? It's 4. So it is 4 by 100 is the probability of selecting the selecting a shirt with major defect. So 4 by 100 is 1 by 25. So probability of selecting a shirt without major defect is 1 minus P of probability of M. That is 1 minus 1 by 25, that is 24 by 25. So probability of selecting a shirt without major defect is 24 by 25. We know B accepts shirt without major defects. Therefore, probability of a shirt drawn acceptable to B will be this 24 by 25. Okay. Another way of doing this problem. We know number of good shirts is 88. We know number of shirts with minor defect is 8. Minor defect is acceptable to B because B says he will not accept only shirts with major defect. Minor defect is okay for him. So total number of shirts which is acceptable to B is 88 plus 8. That is 96. So probability of a drawn shirt acceptable by B is 96 by total number of shirts which is 100. So 96 by 100, that is also 24 by 25. So there are two ways of doing it, okay? But this is easier way of doing it. So all we need to do is find the number of shirts with major defect, find the probability of drawing a shirt with major defect, then find the probability of selecting a shirt without major defect. Without means 1 minus this, right? Then that is the probability of a drawn shirt acceptable to B because B accepts any shirt without major defect. Okay. So I hope I made it clear. If not, please go through this video one more time. It will become clear. Thanks for watching this video.